Okay, so before starting this episode, I want to thank everybody who gave us so much of support for our first episode. This is just me apologizing in advance because setting up the audio for this episode, I forgot to change the input settings to the microphone itself. So the entire episode is being recorded with the laptop's shitty built-in microphone. So great apologies for the terrible audio for this episode. That's my fault. But nevertheless, I hope you enjoy what we talk about, and we will make sure not to make that mistake in the future. Enjoy. All right, rolling.
Rolling?
Yep, another week, another set of movies.
Absolutely.
This is Movie Goblins. I'm Noel Oldick, and across the table from me,
I'm just a baby.
I'm just a stupid fucking baby.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Ben, the
Ben
other
Lee.
one.
My wonderful co-host.
Yay! So excited.
It's been a week since we set this up, but
Really, a
it's the
week?
first time. Yeah, it's been a week. Almost a week, yeah, since we talked
my God,
about
it has
since
been
our
a
last
week.
episode. Yeah, no, and this time we're in the dorms.
Absolutely.
We're in the dorms, so hopefully nobody. It's a Saturday night, so
Absolutely. Yeah.
hopefully nobody is really rambunctious tonight.
To March Madness.
It's a sort of March Madness, so people might go a little crazy. There might be a game going on or something. I don't know.
I don't care because
yeah.
I'm not a basketball
I don't know about it. Yeah, neither am I. But like, we watched some movies today.
We did.
We did. Would you like to start off by talking about which one we watched first?
Nothing would make me happier.
Okay.
All right. Our first film was a pick of mine. Actually, would you maybe the title? Maybe.
Yeah, the title of the movie is Detective Heart of America: The Final Freedom.
Thank you. Now, this film is a film made by Jason Steele, who most people know from Charlie the Unicorn, Llamas with Hats, some other stuff too. But yeah, so he had a character for a while, which is this eagle statue, who's a detective who saves America.
Mm-hmm.
And he thought, you know what? I'm going to make a feature film out of that. And he did. And it's one of my favorite comedies. I know this movie almost by heart. And
yeah, you made that very abundantly clear when like you're like quoting almost the entire fucking movie.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It's
I was like looking over. It's like, how do you remember this shit?
Here's the thing. This film is free to watch on YouTube. You can actually, you know what? After we're done recording this, it's a link down below.
The movie? Okay.
Yeah, link below. It's a free movie to watch. But I bought the DVD
Mm-hmm.
because I'm a nerd and I want to support this guy in all of his endeavors.
Can I just say,
Yes.
starting off that
Mhm.
when the menu popped up, it was like, oh, hello, this is the menu for my movie.
Yeah. And he talked about Dan, who is a joke in the movie. He's like, who's Dan? I don't know. And so he's like, oh yeah, Dan.
He's all right.
Yeah, he's all right. Yeah, and so that's the main title, which is the perfect way to have yourself all set for this movie. It's the perfect tone to set. Just nonsense. It's
Complete and utter nonsense, but
on the
it's
surface.
really, on the surface, yeah. You'll explain that later, but
Yeah. So the plot is basically someone is trying to buy America with Bitcoin. And the eagle statue is sent out by the chief to stop them. And that's all I'm going to say about it. Well, later we'll talk about more in detail, but the plot goes so weird.
My first impression of the movie is just like,
Mhm.
this is definitely from somebody who's known for, this is definitely like, as funny as it is, you know,
Yes.
it's just like,
Yeah.
it feels, I would have like even preferred if it were like cut down to like even like 10 minutes a little bit,
I can
like
see
maybe
it.
like a short film,
Yeah.
rather than like, because it could get a little bit tiring at times, like
It can.
like film cow stuff is like, I feel like best enjoyed in
Short.
small chunks.
Yeah.
So watching like a full like
Feature film?
was a little bit tiring, but I still enjoyed it. you
Oh
know?
yeah. It's, to me, there's something about the voices he does that cracks me up. Like, just,
Oh yeah, his voices are great.
Yeah, it's just the one voice in the movie I'm kind of about is there's a rabbit character.
Reggie.
Yeah, his mom. Her voice can kind of.
Oh hello.
Yeah, I mean it's funny, but it is kind of like
Fifth dimension.
Oh yeah.
Demigod.
Oh yeah. Who?
Like
Yeah,
Cthulhu type.
Yeah, she's great. Her voice can get a little grating, but overall, to me, what I find funny about this movie is that on the surface it's nonsense, but if you look closely, there's like a really interesting sci-fi concept going on. That if you okay, so the plot is that Ouya,
the short-lived gaming console.
yeah, it's a robot and it's buying America.
That was hilarious.
Oh
the
yeah,
fact that it was the first initial like antagonist of the movie was Ouya.
Yeah, Ouya the game console, because why not?
Yeah.
And Ouya,
what are they gonna do? Sue them? They're out of business. Yeah.
Actually, yeah, the whole company was like purchased by some other company.
Oh, really? It was.
It doesn't matter. I mean, who cares about Ouya?
Really. It's funny though.
It is.
It's hilarious.
It's out of nowhere.
The downfall of Ouya. Yeah.
It's like So Ouya destroys America. It has the power to change reality, and it erases America. Aside from the main character and his friends, who's like, where did America go? And the rest of the plot is him trying to rebuild America with the goo. And so
Pepsi.
I will take a Pepsi.
Thank you. Yep. There you go.
Wait for the mic.
I'm gonna do mine close to the mic.
Oh god.
Oh shit! That peaked the audio.
They're gonna have to.
I'm gonna edit that down.
That's why. Anyway. Yeah. So and then these kind of futuristic alien things come up, and who look really cool, by the way. Those aliens are.
They're actually like that's cool design for aliens.
I know, and I just love it. They come out of nowhere. Like what the fuck are those?
Yeah. I swear we're not. Also, I swear we're not endorsed by Pepsi. I just like a Pepsi.
Listen.
Pepsi's good.
Fuck cola. Fuck Coca-Cola. Let me tell you.
But I'm sorry. I
give us a sponsorship, Pepsi. We're looking to sponsor it. Let's go.
I'm sorry. You go.
No. I mean, it's such a nonsense plot. I can't really like.
Yeah, it's hard to like tether into words, you know.
It's just. I mean, to me, it's one of
those. There's like Brendan.
Oh my god, the best. There's like so. This film was made with like fan donations, kind of like a Patreon,
Kickstarter kind of.
Yeah.
GoFundMe.
Yeah, and the top tier was that if you donate a certain amount of money, I think like 1,000 or 2 or something like that, you get to be a character in the movie. Okay, no. Okay, you're not playing yourself. Like you're not voicing a character or anything. A picture of you will be used as the face of a character, and a guy named Brendan, bless his heart, gave the film cow guy his senior picture, and he put it on a surfboard thing and wore it as Brendan, the last surviving member of a place called Slam Zone.
Slam Zone,
the most out of control country the world has ever seen, and he is the funniest goddamn character.
So pretty much when like a country gets like I guess like blipped out of existence. Yeah. The one person who represents that country the most within that country is the one remaining. Yeah. And so the reason, I guess I should backtrack a little bit. So basically, America is bought, it just disappears.
Yeah, it disappears.
It's just like, make America disappear. Make America disappear again.
Oh, Jesus. Take that, Trump. We're out to get you. We're coming for you.
We're coming for you.
We're coming to take your goo.
Your goo.
Your goo.
Oh, Jesus.
Anyway.
But like, so Detective Heart of America represents like that country the most. Yeah. He's the embodiment of America. He's the most American. He's an eagle. He's an eagle. He's a detective. He loves America. So obviously he's the one remaining, and everybody else just disappears or just doesn't remember him. Yeah. So he gets the help of Brendan, who's like, well, I don't really know what to do because I'm Slam Zone's still non-existent. If I could bring it back, I would, but I can't. So how am I supposed to help you? And so
soda, man.
Sir is giving like here, have a Capri Sun. It's the thirst quencher, and also here, have a Sunny D. Here, have a Sunny D, and in captions it says "fuck purple stuff."
I fucking love this movie.
And so he gives him the fucking. He's like, "Here, have some Sunny D," and on top of that, it had some Capri Sun.
He's like, "I don't want this. Stop giving me this.
Stop giving me Capri Sun." Oh my. And
so basically and then you find out basically that what's it called?
What, the Marriott?
No, the Ouya.
Oh yeah, the Ouya.
You find out that they are sent from the future by these people who are trying to find peace, because in the future, it's total just like Nazi kind of like taking over the world. Not Nazis, but like these like
definitely like kind of
fascist alien things.
Fascist dictatorship, basically.
Yeah, and so the plan of Ouya is to keep changing the world until like those people don't exist anymore.
Okay.
And so by the end of the movie, I guess spoilers for the end of the movie.
Yeah, spoiler. Let's just have fair spoiler warning. Yeah.
So we find out that there's a device that can change the world again, like Ouya, but
it's permanent.
Yeah, you can't change it after that. And the whole point is that she's gonna, it wants to take control of it and just stop these kind of this like world changing tech from ever happening. But she can't move. Why do I keep saying she?
Oh, about the Ouya?
Yeah, I don't know why I keep thinking it's a female, but it's
I guess because it kind of sounds like a little bit.
Yeah, but it's an it.
I would imagine Ouya would be a she. Honestly,
a little bit, but
they're asexual.
It's a robot.
It's a robot.
But anyway, so they're like, I can't.
Excuse me, not asexual, but like
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah. But and they're like, listen, I can't move anymore. Go to the machine and change time. And of course, the eagle statue thinks, oh my god,
it's my opportunity.
No, he's like, my visions. I know what I must do. And he changes the world into just being America. Like every country's America. The moon is America. Like all the landmarks in the world are just like things from America. And you find out like he basically doomed the world to be
America, a fascist dictatorship.
Yeah, forever, like infinite numbers of like tyranny and death, and then the movie ends.
That's fucked up, man.
Yeah,
you're explaining this to me. It's like wait until the end of the credits. So it's like Jesus Christ.
And it's
because the flag like at the end is like waving and behind the credits.
Yeah,
and like it slowly changes into like a dictatorship, like a dictator flag, type.
And
like
it's hilarious,
like, totalitarian type like design.
Yeah, and it's hilarious because
my god,
and it just ends, and it's just. I mean, first of all, I mean. Let's say we want to look at this more as a not stupid comedy. Let's
just take out everything, all the context.
Let's take out the Shark Council, the baby,
Shark Council, the baby,
Jesus Merman.
We didn't even talk about the baby.
Oh, the baby's the best character. The baby, Jesus Merman, the cubes. If you take out all that and look at it as like a college professor who's up his own ass, the whole ending is a thing about. Americans love freedom unless they have to sacrifice their whole American view of the world. Like Americans can't really think of freedom unless it's under their banner. Wow. Yeah. If you want to look deep into it.
Has this been confirmed by Film Cal himself? I'm curious.
Hey, Jason Steele, contact us.
Contact us.
We gotta know. We gotta know. You're a genius, but are you Einstein levels of genius? We gotta know.
Were you smart enough to do that?
I think. He's a pretty smart guy.
No. I'm sure he is.
By the way, this movie looks awesome.
This movie's fucking funny.
It was such a low budget, but it looks pretty damn good. It looks
pretty good. There's some pretty impressive effects in it.
Yeah.
Like for relative to its budget.
And it's also like
as proves the movie equivalent of a shit post.
It's also by one guy doing it too. It's not like a whole team. It's like one guy and a few and some friends.
Yeah, it was a passion project of his.
Yeah, I love it. You know, his classic, Charlie Unicorn and all that. I love those too. But this has
the elephant.
Oh yeah, so good. Adult Swim, give this man his own TV show.
He's like, I grew up watching film.
Oh yeah, everyone has. Like everyone at school.
I just kind of like stopped watching it.
Oh.
Just because, I don't know, I was kind of watching some other stuff, but it was always in the back of my head where it was
Ghost House. Have you seen his whole
Ghost? I haven't seen his newer stuff.
No,
Have you seen the one where it's like the fucking Grim Reaper is like a detective?
Yeah,
what's that called? I keep trying to find it.
That was one of his like super old.
His partner's like a decapitated head.
Yeah, that was one of his super old ones. But yeah that was. Anyway, so it's hard to give this film a rating for you. I think because it's
just like
it's a fun nonsense.
It's a fun nonsense movie.
It's very quotable for me.
Yeah.
The Shark Council scene, I know basically verbatim. I know, we are the Shark Council of Finance. Yes. Of Commerce, we're very interested in. I can, and Jesus as a merman's hysterical. Mm-hmm. But I can see why most people would be like, what the fuck is this? Mm-hmm. What is this? Why is it, what?
I liked it better than Space Cop.
Yeah. Yeah. It's much weirder than Space Cop.
Yeah. But it just kind of goes all the way with its weirdness.
It's like, fuck it.
It's like, its ridiculousness.
Yeah. All right, so, what would you rate it?
I gave it a 3 on Letterboxd.
Yeah, mine's a 5 out of 5 for me.
I respect that.
It's just, it's one of my favorite comedies. Just, it's so...
It's like your Tommy Boy. Like, it is to you what Tommy Boy is to me. Basically.
Absolutely. That's exactly what... Mm-hmm. So, I would highly recommend it. And if you want to watch it, we're going to post a link in the little thing below. You can go watch it for free.
Watch it.
Watch it. Send him love. Send him money. He's great.
So moving on to our next movie.
Yes.
The Guillermo Del Toro movie.
Pan's
Labyrinth.
Big change in
tone and budget. But this movie was awesome. It was so good.
So here's the thing. I found out that Noah, my wonderful co-host, has never seen it. Or any of his films except for
his Hellboy movies.
Yeah. Also, where's the third Hellboy? Come on, give him it. He wants to do it.
It's honestly very sad. He never got to complete that
Bullshit
trilogy.
Is what it is.
It's not going to happen. It's kind of like Half-Life 3. It's not going to happen. You know.
No. Anyway,
it's like he won Oscar for The Shape of Water, so it's like he's very much like kind of like I'm kind of done with like.
And he made Pinocchio.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like he's doing very well for himself despite having not made Hellboy 3. Which
I know, but
there's an alternate universe out there somewhere where he made Hellboy 3.
He made that, and the world just healed.
The world healed, yeah.
There's no COVID. Nothing. It's just if he made Hellboy 3. Mm-hmm.
So is it okay if I explain the kind of go over?
Please.
Okay. So basically, it takes place in 1944 in Spain after the Spanish Civil War ends, and World War II is still going on. There's still rebel kind of rebels hiding out in the woods of the area where the movie takes place, which is in like this kind of barren area. Woodlands area, where this captain resides with his team, with basically his regime, where he's expecting his newlywed. I don't think newlywed, but like just his wife, I think. His new wife and her daughter, Ophelia, and this guy's is a fucking bastard.
He's a dickhead.
The movie pretty much like gets you. It just does so well the ability to like make you absolutely hate this fucking guy.
You just want to kick him in the dick.
You want to see this guy get his shit like it's just his shit thrown around basically.
Yeah.
You know. You want to see the bottle scene. We'll get to that. Yeah. But like the wife is pregnant with his child, and it's throughout the movie it becomes clear that he cares much more about the safety of his seed than his own wife.
Yeah.
And he doesn't give up. Like he hates, Ophelia. He doesn't. Well, he doesn't hate her at first. He just doesn't care. He just doesn't care about her. He doesn't. He couldn't give 2 shits about her.
No.
And basically, they're, driving. They end up at this lodge basically.
Yeah.
Where he has like his soldiers and his servants basically, working for him, cooking, cleaning for him, and looking, and the soldiers themselves looking for the rebels.
Right.
And basically this girl Ophelia, who I don't know, I'd say like 11, 12, maybe. Like it's
I'd say 12.
12. Okay, like
Seems like
gets enveloped into like this fantasy world.
Yeah.
Which I have my own opinion about this, but like could or could not be
real.
Could be like real, or could be a figment of her own imagination, her trying to escape from like this like
hellscape.
world, this hellscape that the world has, that the adult world has built for her.
Yeah.
Which I think is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this maze, there's this labyrinth, hence the title, and she goes down there at night and finds this fawn played by the great Doug Jones, the great physical actor Doug Jones.
So, also, by the way, his name is not Pan. I don't know why it's called Pan's Labyrinth.
I don't know either, because there's no one named Pan. So
yeah, so it sounds cool.
Yeah, it sounds cool. Yeah,
that's.
I guess it would have been called The Labyrinth, but then David Bowie, you know.
Yeah.
What's the direct Spanish translation for the movie
of the Labyrinth of the Fawn?
That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, but
whatever.
Too late.
But like basically, he tells her that she is royalty, that she is a princess from a fairy tale. Yeah. And he gives her 3 tasks to do before the moon is full again. Yeah. And basically, the movie is a mixture between her trying to complete these tasks and the adult world pretty much closing on her and her mother, as well as the rebels who are trying to overthrow this
dickhead.
This dickhead, this captain shithead, you know. And there's a scene where it was a dinner scene where basically people were like, "Oh, how'd you two meet?" And she's like, "Oh, so it's like this happened. It's like shut." He's basically just like, nobody wants to hear the story. Nobody's interested in this stuff. And I was just like, she just asked. It's like, what a dick. What an asshole.
He's obsessed with carrying on a tradition that
he wants so badly to carry on his bloodline.
A male heir, basically.
A male heir, not just any
the same name. He wants his son to know the minute he dies.
He is all about he's like the embodiment
of a clock.
Of a clock. Yeah, because he does.
He has a stopwatch with like a little pocket watch.
It's a very big motif. Is his watch.
His whole office is just giant clock gears in the background.
Mm-hmm. He's a machine. He's not. He's nothing better than a machine because he just blindly follows orders.
He's not.
And he expects everybody else to. Yeah, he's basically not human.
He's like.
Kind of
You're 5 minutes late.
Yeah,
exactly.
He's that kind of guy. Like 15 minutes late. Oh, it's just like he has no humanity to him. No. And the movie very much is able to convince you of that. Yeah. Despite him being flesh and bone. Yeah. Which I found very interesting because sometimes certain movies try to do that and they fail because it's just like
he's either too cold or he's too likable sometimes. Where it's it's like this guy
or too charismatic. You know.
Yeah. It's like. Inglourious Basterds.
Inglourious Basterds does this, but it's just like I love that movie. Like Hans Landa is great for it. Like he's so like you kind of like hate him, but you also like he's very charismatic. You know?
This is not the case.
This is not the case.
This guy's just
you absolutely hate this guy, and the movie wants that to be the case for you.
Yeah. It's that, but also he's not like a complete cartoon. Like
oh no, he's not a cartoon either. He's very frightening.
I am evil. He's like. He's insane. He's
a
sadistic psychopath.
Yeah, he smashes he finds two guys. His soldiers, his men, come across 2 farmers, a father and his son. Yeah. And they were just they're explaining we're just hunting rabbits. We're not part of any resistance.
We're hungry.
Yeah, we're fucking hungry. So his response is he thinks they're lying, so he smashes.
No, the reason so basically he has a bottle and he smashes the son's nose and shoots him. Yeah. The reason he did this, this is the first time I noticed this. He told the son not to talk, and the son talked again. Oh. He's like, "Well, you defied me, so I'm going to smash your face with a bottle." That's the first time I noticed that.
That's a really cool detail. Yeah. So he's for that penance of talking out of turn, he smashes doesn't even smash the bottle. He hits him repeatedly in the face with a bottle until his nose caves in, and then his face. And he shoots him in the head, and he kills the father too.
And then he finds out actually they did have rabbits.
They did have rabbits, yeah.
And then he has it cooked in a stew for him the next day.
Yeah, that's the bitter irony, you know. It's just he killed these men for no reason. And he eats their earnings from hunting, you know. It just shows how much of an evil bastard he is, you know.
Yeah, Um, okay, so let's go into the whole fantasy aspect.
Yes.
So basically, Ophelia has 3 tasks. One, she has to go down what might consider a rabbit hole, and to kill a toad, to kill a giant toad.
Yeah.
And then, to find a key, and then she goes into the Pale Man's domain.
Yeah.
Who is probably the most famous thing in the movie?
Yeah, next to the fawn. Yeah.
Yeah, who has the whole hands for he has eyeballs in his hands.
He has eyeballs in his hands. Yep.
And
it's a terrifying design for a creature too.
So basically, he was like, okay, this creature is a goblin, or no, an ogre. Yeah, Shrek, whatever. He's like, basically, the whole idea is that he was a big fat ogre who didn't have any meat for a long time. He got really skinny, so that's why he's all flabby.
Oh, is that explained in the movie, or
it's implied?
It's implied via the paintings.
Yeah, where he has like kids, and his whole body is just flabby flesh.
Kind of the whole idea of like when people like lose a lot of weight really fast, they have a saggy skin.
Yeah, he also doesn't have a face really. He's
got
a mouth. So she goes in there with the key and gets a knife, but she's told don't eat anything, and then she eats 2 grapes, like an idiot, which wakes up the Pale Man, which apparently, the guy who made this movie, why can't I think of his name?
Guillermo Del Toro.
He said, thank you, the greatest moment of his life. He was watching this film in a theater with King. The Shining and Misery and all that.
Oh, really?
Stephen King was like shivering watching the panel. Like he was terrified of the panel. And he was like that. He said that's the greatest thing in my life is seeing Stephen King be scared by something I made.
That's awesome. Dude.
Yeah, Pale Man's great.
So Pale Man's that's such an effective like. It's a horror scene in a movie that's not. I wouldn't consider a horror movie.
I would consider it pretty scary.
Yeah, no, it's a great, frightening scene in like what's otherwise kind of a fairy tale,
Except for
the real life stuff
and the leg scene, which freaked you out.
Well, yeah, but that's more like wartime, it's more like wartime drama stuff, But that goes so the movie's very impressive editing.
Yeah,
where it transitions between scenes like very well, like when the tree line, like when it brushes past, like it wipes to a next scene in the woods, but also when it knows not to be too gratuitous with the violence.
No, exactly.
It knows when to cut away and leave a little bit to the imagination because a man in the Resistance, his leg is like infected, and basically they have to amputate. Yeah. So right as he cuts. It shows it going in
like a fraction,
and then cuts away. It cuts away,
which is even more disturbing.
Not even like away from not even so like you can. It cuts away from the scene. It cuts to another scene. Yeah. So it's like it's very effective.
The first time I watched this, I remember a scene that disturbed me very much. As our listeners can tell, I'm sure I have a stutter. There's a character in the movie who is a rebel. Who also has a stutter, and he's captured by the dickhead captain. And he said, listen, if you can count to 3 and not stutter, I will let you go. And as anyone who has a stutter will know, if you force someone who has a stutter to say something without stuttering, they're going to stutter. Like, it's going to happen. Like, that's too much pressure. And this guy already is beaten up, so he's breathing wrong. Like, every time I watch this scene, I go, oh no! It's so for me. It's like one of those terrifying scenes in the movie because I know, and of course he fails, and then you find out what happened to him later. His whole hand is cut in half, basically.
Yeah, his hand is cut down the middle, basically. Yeah.
So the captain might be my favorite character because he's so fascinating.
Yeah, he's just a walking clock, basically. Yeah. He's very cold and mechanical. Yeah, and he's just so fucking devilish.
Yeah, I'm curious his backstory, but I'm not sure.
I feel like that's a bit unnecessary to reveal that, but it's just like it would give him humanity. Yeah, which the movie obviously does not want him to have.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let's talk about the big debate. Is the fantasy real? Is the fawn and the pale? Is it all that real or not? What's your opinion?
Yes. Because the fantasy elements have real-world consequences
Do they?
Yeah, because the moment, because when like the fawn gives Ophelia the root and tells her to like put like milk into it and like and 2 drops of blood to like help her mom. She like starts getting better, and the doctor's even like he's even surprised. It's like, wow, this is like she's making a
But here's
recovery.
The thing: people do get better randomly for no reason.
I get you, but when the gourd is like the root is like thrown into the fire, she immediately becomes like sick again.
But here's the thing: the only person to see that happen is Ophelia. So is that her mind making up the fact she threw it and then she gets hurt? Is that her mind trying to make that that parallel? Like, because she did that, that's why she's getting worse again. But by the way, I agree with you.
Okay.
Yeah. It has to be real to me anyway.
To me it has to be real,
Yeah.
But that's just a theory, a game theory. Imagine MatPat did like
it's just a theory.
Imagine,
a goblin
theory. Imagine if like MatPat did like a theory about The Shining. That'd be so fucking stupid. But it'd be funny though.
He might have. I don't know. I haven't checked in a while.
Let's see.
Okay.
I can look it up right now.
Also, a great ending to me would have been like the captain guy gets eaten up by the Pale Man. That would have been great.
Oh, that would have been pretty fun.
But then it probably wouldn't have the same.
It wouldn't have had the same like real.
Him getting shot in the face and his
eyeball rolling back. Yeah. We gotta get to that actually. It was just like
the great ending.
So basically, Ophelia does her. She completes the. Well, she's kind of scolded by the fawn for like for disobeying.
Why won't you let me kill your baby brother? Fuck you.
Well, we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit there, but so basically, the rebel. There's different inconveniences with if that's even a fucking word. There's different like encounters between the soldiers and the resistance. Yeah. And so that kind of like leads to like the soldiers dropping in numbers. And Ophelia's mom dies. And the baby is saved. That's what he was like. He stressed, it's like, I want the baby saved.
My son saved.
Yeah, my son saved. If it comes down to if it comes down between one or the other, save my son.
And also, he is convinced it's a son. He doesn't even consider it's a daughter.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I find that makes sense with his character.
With his character, yeah.
He's a dick.
And he, he gets his wish. He gets his son. And the doctor and one of the one of the people like serving him one of the cooks,
the maid or
cook,
whatever,
is outed as informants for the resistance, and so that turns into a whole thing. The doctor gets shot and killed.
Great, I love that scene.
Yeah, it's a great scene.
He's like,
because he's just walking. He's just trying to like walk away with as much dignity as possible, even though he's got a bullet in his back.
Yeah, he just falls face first in the mud, and then the mom dies because the doctor died.
That was like the doctor died before like she died, so like that's kind of
the moment the mom needed the doctor most. The guy killed him.
That's actually
poetic irony.
Poetic irony. Beautiful. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Also sad.
Yeah, and so the fawn returns and gives Ophelia one last task to complete. One last chance, excuse me, before the moon is full, and that's to retrieve her brother and from the captain. She does so nearly successfully. Drugs him. Yep. And they chase. It's actually kind of like The Shining a little bit, where they go into the maze.
It is. It's a literal
maze chase, just like The Shining. Yeah. And so like she goes to the center of the labyrinth because the opens up for her. Yeah. And which gives her enough time to reach the fawn at the center. Imagine if it were like a minotaur, like the whole maze and the minotaur thing. Imagine that a what if scenario. Huh. Yeah.
I mean, it's like randomly there's a minotaur. Like don't worry about him. It's fine. Don't worry about him.
When I think of minotaurs, I think of Manish the Minotaur from Adventure Time. Man, it's the Minotaur.
I haven't seen that show in a long time.
Yeah, I gotta show you Adventure Time.
I've seen it. It's great, but I just haven't seen it.
It's just been a while. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah. So basically, like, it turns out she has to sacrifice her brother,
and she says no.
And she's like, no, fuck that.
I'm not gonna kill my brother for a goddamn goat man.
And she gets shot. She ends up getting the captain ends up chasing her down. Finding her at the center.
He does not see the fawn. That's a good thing to point out. So, but is that because he's drugged? Is it because...
I feel like it's just because, like, he's not... It's just because, like, he doesn't have that connection that she does to it.
Yeah.
And so, you know, she gets shot and...
dies.
Yeah. Pretty much is dying, basically.
Yeah.
He retrieves his son and is met by the people outside. Pretty much just the resistance who pretty much toppled his regime, basically.
Yeah.
His little army.
Yeah.
And they're like, he's just like, beautiful. Oh, yeah?
No,
beautiful thing is, like, it's set up in the early in the movie. I don't know who says it, but it's like a father died in the war and he smashed his watch so that, like, the son would know what time he died.
That was his dad, right?
No, I think, oh, yes. Okay, that was his father? Okay.
I think so.
Okay. So he looks at his watch and he's like, I want you to tell my son what time I died. And they're like, fuck you. They're not even gonna, he's not even gonna know your name. Fucking shoots him in the face, in the cheek.
And his eyes roll back.
It takes him for like a second to like, he holds his cheek and topples down.
He thinks like, huh.
And a perfect end to a
douchey,
great villain,
bastard.
Just you hate him with every ounce of your being by the end of the movie, and you're just glad he gets what he.
And then, of course, the maid kind of lady who has the whole movie loves the girl. She loves this little girl like her own kind of daughter. Like she adores Ophelia. She goes in and finds her dying, and then she cries, and then she hums the. I love that melody. And then it shows her going to like a fantasy world where like, she did it. The whole final test was not to kill the baby, but for her not to kill the baby. Because
that was the test.
Yeah.
A lot like Adventure Time where it's like, I won't kill this ant. Will you slay the ant? No!
I refuse!
Never.
Only you would have that great thing. It's like, it's just like Adventure Time. Pan's Labyrinth is a prequel
just like Adventure Time.
Yeah. But, so she goes to her fantasy. Her mom is now an elven queen who's holding her baby brother.
Yep. Oh, really?
Yeah, holding a baby.
Oh, didn't notice that.
Yeah, and the fawn's there who looks all young. His horn's all fixed.
Starts out. Oh yeah, I noticed that. It starts out like all old and frail.
He's like just shivering all the time.
And by the end of the movie, he's like super young, vibrant. Because like the progression of like how like this whole kingdom is like has been like in dormant for like for hundreds of years. Yeah. So obviously he's gonna be old and shriveled up, but when it's restored, he's young again. You know. Yeah, and then it ends on kind of It's a beautiful movie. It's a beautiful ending for the movie. Yeah, where it's like she did die, but she also got her happy ending. Yeah. So she ends up in the kingdom with her mother and her father. So yeah, in the fun. So like it could, I don't know, man. It's like it could be like one or the other, where it's like it's her imagination, or it's like I'm gonna leave that up. I'm not gonna try and answer that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like if it's real, then she's a queen. That's the whole point. Is that it's left up to interpretation. Well, if it's real, she got she's now a princess in the magical kingdom. If it's not, she dies happy. Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter either way. She gets her happy ending. Yeah, and everything is just in the end. So yeah. What a great movie. Yeah, this movie was amazing. Yeah, I feel like this makes me want for us to cover at least the first Hellboy, eventually down the line. I have not seen that movie in like 10 years. It's been a while since I've seen it too, so we gotta see it. Yeah, and also I brought the I'm in Love with a Fishman movie. Shape of Water. Yeah, that's there too. All right, haven't watched that. Check it out. Yeah. All right, what's your rating for this masterpiece? My rating is 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5, yep, on Letterboxd. Mine's a 5 out of 5. Nice. Because it's one of those, like, the visual effects hold up. Like oh my god, the visual effects. The costumes and the practical effects are so amazing. To me, also,
This was made in 2006, low budget, but
Mhm.
so there's some CGI that kind of looks dated.
Mm.
But also to me it works because it's like it looks fake, but also real enough where it's like
Or it's just like, oh, I can
it's
forgive
magic.
it. It's
Yeah.
magic, yeah.
Yeah. So how did this not win Best Picture at the Oscars?
Was it at least nominated?
It was nominated for Best Foreign Film, but
Oh.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, it was filmed in Mexico, but or
Was it Spain?
I think I want to. I'm not sure.
I'd say Spain.
It makes sense.
Even though Guillermo Del Toro is Mexican.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, check it out.
Check it out. Hell yeah.
I mean, it's such a famous movie, but
Yeah.
it's a masterpiece.
It's a great movie. Beautiful.
Yeah. Mwah. Love
Mwah.
Del Toro. I love you. Mwah. Our final film.
Our final film.
Will you do the honors of explaining this one
Yes.
as well?
Yes. The last movie we watched today was a film released in 1970. Well, two films released in the early 70s, but recut in the late 1979 and released in 1980 by New World Pictures. It was the first two. It was the first two Lone Wolf and Cub movies, and it was cut together into Shogun Assassin, a film so bloody,
Love it,
and so badass,
yeah,
that Ben was just cheering. He cheered. There was moments where I think he was like cheering because he was just like, "Oh my god, so cool."
Well, okay, so here's the thing. I've never gotten into like the samurai genre much, so I was like, "Hey Noah, you're a pick for this third movie. You have like a good samurai movie we could watch?" He's like, I do have a good one. And then we watched it, and I'm hoping we get to watch more samurai films going forward.
It's a whole series, man. I have Zatoichi movies up the ass.
I don't know what that is, but I'm pumped.
Zatoichi's it's basically it's 25 movie film series that range from 1962 to 1975, I think.
Damn.
And it's about Zatoichi, who's a blind masseur who also is just a fucking great swordsman who has like a sword in his cane, his walking cane.
Dope.
Yeah. And but no, we'll get to Zatoichi when we get to Zatoichi.
We're getting off topic.
We're talking about Shogun Assassin here,
yes.
okay?
So what's the plot?
Basically, it's about when I was little, my father was famous. So it's basically about a shogun executioner, who works works for imperial shogun.
Yeah.
You know, he is basically his decapitator. He executes like prisoners, other
bad guys,
war, feuding, feudal Japan. That's what I was thinking of. It wasn't imperial Japan. It was feudal Japan.
Yes.
So it's like feuding,
clans
and empires, like leaders of emperors. And in the original, I'm just gonna spoil this for you, Ben.
All right, go ahead.
In the opening of the original Lone Wolf and Cub movie,
yeah.
You know how he's preparing, he's in like the white room preparing to execute somebody.
Yeah.
He's executing a child in that movie. In the opening of that movie. Yeah.
Damn.
It's like a kid. Like they said, like the kid,
I can see why they cut that.
I can see why they cut that out of the movie. But nonetheless, that's not in Shogun Assassin. That's in Lone Wolf and Cub, Sword of Vengeance.
Yeah. Great title.
Shogun. Yeah. Which one? Shogun Assassin?
No,
or
it's just
Sword of Vengeance.
Sword of Vengeance.
Sword of Vengeance is a great title for a movie.
It is.
So the executioner has a son.
Yes.
He does a narration for the movie, and he explains that the shogun was ultimately started becoming afraid of his own executioner, and has him sends out ninjas to assassinate him, basically. But what happens is this ninja end up killing his wife, but they're killed by the executioner, and before they can kill him and his son, and they're basically from that point are on a bloody revenge path. Not even just survival, revenge. And the road to hell basically is paved with blood and samurai swords.
Hell yeah.
But it's just a fucking great movie. I love it a lot because of the fact that it compiles the best elements of those first two movies into a coherent narrative, which is like it's best comparable to something like Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Wait,
but Godzilla,
is it the first version, you mean?
Yeah, the original Godzilla King of the Monsters was Raymond Burr.
Okay.
But there's like added footage in there, which like muddles the whole message. But like besides like the very crappy dubbing for this movie, where it's just like
it's not bad,
but it's very noticeable though.
It's very dated.
It's funny. It's funny. It adds a kind of like a grindhouse cheese to the movie, if you will.
There's a good amount of cheese, and I am from Wisconsin, so I do love me
some cheese. Yeah,
let me tell you.
It's just the Shogun's going Lord Wolf, kind of like as if he's like Aku from Samurai Jack, you know?
He has the most absurd voice, I think, of the whole movie.
I like how he's got like eyebrows taped. He's got like eyebrows taped to his real eyebrows.
I love it.
It's
so
great.
good.
So I love the transformation from before and after.
Yeah.
Let's just call him Lone Wolf.
Yeah. Well,
the Executioner's Lone Wolf, and before his expulsion and eventual like kind of like roaming the earth with his son on like kind of this bloody life that he has to live for the rest of his life. He becomes like before it becomes like what they call him a demon, because that's basically he's a fucking demon.
He didn't give a
fuck. Before that he's like his hair's slicked back and it's all like nice and done, and afterward his son's hair is shaved. His hair is all messy, and he's got like facial hair too.
Yeah,
he's just like you do not want to fuck with this guy.
No, absolutely not. No.
And they keep fucking with him.
It's like just leave him alone. It's like he's not gonna come get you. I don't think he's just kind of an assassin now.
Yeah, he's just kind of living the life. He's on the run basically.
But it's a matter of pride, I think.
It's a matter of pride. Yeah, it's like there's like
an honor or whatever.
He killed. Excuse me.
Oh my god.
He kills the Shogun's son. Well, one of the Shogun's sons, because it's revealed later in other movies that he has others, and he keeps killing them.
Yeah, he has so many sons. He has a lot of sons.
Yeah, and so basically the crux. It's basically a lot of it is. It seems monotonous because he's just like traveling from place to place, fighting baddies, and slicing them into little bits.
That like is my biggest complaint with the movie. It is, listen, here's the thing. This film is badass. No one's denying this. It's just badass. Like the blood is neon red. It goes everywhere. It goes on the lens. It's just the best. As a narrative, though, here's the thing. It's he goes to a place, he fights people, he leaves. He goes to a place, he goes on a boat, he leaves. And I never felt he was in danger. Not one. He's like, listen, this guy is the best of the best. This man is, he's not gonna die. Well, first of all, there's like a lot more movies with him, with the sequels and the originals. So but it's just everyone he fights, like they show, look at these female assassins, they can cut a guy up in like mincemeat in 10 seconds. It's like he just kind of kills them. Like it feels like he has an unfair advantage sometimes. Yeah. It's like there's no. Like,
he's just so good that like he's not even like why even care. Yeah.
And also like another thing I just noticed right now is that he doesn't even mind if his son dies. Really, he's like they're about to kill him. He's like, well, okay. He's like, well, our death is already a major possibility, and he's gonna go see his mom anyway. It's like maybe if he was more panicked and like he realized like. The biggest thing he fears to lose is his son, and that would make him more relatable to me. But overall, he's just kind of like he's badass. Yeah. But it's like there's no real emotional connection I had to him.
I feel like you're kind of expecting him to be like a noble warrior, like Samurai Jack or something, or like.
I mean, he is kind of.
Well, he's not really a hero. He's just somebody on the run who just takes up jobs to kill people, even if like he has if he has no game in it besides money.
Yeah. Well, it's not so much noble warrior. It's just like if it was more like a father and son story, like obviously he cares for his son. It's his son.
It's his son. Yeah.
Yeah. I just felt like if he maybe showed a little warmer side towards his son, or like showed an emotion that wasn't just kind of like stoic.
There's some scenes in it where it's like he's in the bath with his son.
Yeah, but his face is stoic. Like he never like.
I got you. You just want a bit more emotion.
Maybe makes a joke with his son, or like plays like something that wasn't just.
I got you.
Again, it's badass. Don't get me this. Listen, this is the definition of badass. Like, it's just badass.
It's just like you can't like knock this movie for like
not.
It's
never boring.
You cannot call this movie not cool. You know.
Well, aside from the whole.
Yeah, it's like okay. There's a scene
we
where
should talk about
there's one of the final scenes of the movie. A boat catches fire because an asshole just lights on fire.
Just some dick.
Because he gets like the top of his nose chopped off.
He's like, oh yeah, well fuck you, I'm gonna burn this boat.
Guards, you know, who pretty much have hats like the three elements in Big Trouble in Little China.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yep. Like, that's like the hat. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's like 3 storms or something. It's been a while since I seen it.
Yeah, it's been a while.
But the last female assassin is trying to kill him when like they're escaping the boat, and they go into like when they reach shore, they go into this building.
It's like a hut.
It's like a hut, yeah. And he takes off his clothes, takes off his son's clothes, and without saying a word, rips her clothes off too. And we were just like you and Michael, who was watching it with us, was just like, whoa.
Well, first
what's
of all,
happening?
First again, thing with Japanese cult like cinema is like do you see his son's naked body? It's a little.
It's not sexualized in any way.
Absolutely.
It's just kind of there.
Well, first of all, again, I had no idea what the hell was happening the whole time. I was like, wait, why?
I was confused when I first saw this movie too about what the hell is happening.
And then he forces the woman's clothes off, and the whole point is that they have to stay warm until all 3 of them huddle. And it's at first you think he's. Well, first of all, I don't know why he didn't.
You think he's like, it looks like he's forcing himself on her until it's like it's revealed. It's like, no, we have to stay warm. You know.
Yeah, but like, why didn't he just say that?
Why didn't he just say that? Yeah, it's just like, hey, take off your clothes because we need to stay warm, and it's like, we have no fire to keep us warm, so we need our bodies to be held together. You know. He just rips it off.
He's like,
it's just like, dang. Okay.
So like maybe he was like, well, you tried to kill me, so fuck you. I don't give a shit. But
it's a mixture of like between compassion and just being like a dick, you know?
Yeah. It's one of those like,
yeah.
I mean, I get it. Like he doesn't care. He just doesn't.
Yeah.
He doesn't give a fuck. But that scene just made me go like.
This made you uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's like, and also, spoiler alert. Afterwards, she leaves, and you find out she's gonna die anyway.
Well, because she failed, so she has to get harakiri.
Which, for those who don't know, is suicide. Basically.
Dishonorable suicide.
Yeah. So it's like, what was the point of that? So it's like, maybe she came with them and joined them, or like just left.
That wouldn't make sense just within the context of like the Wolf and Cub series. It's just those two that they're bonded by their destiny to walk this path of violence for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, the problem is that this is kind of its own thing.
The problem is it's a re-edit. So.
Yeah, so it's like, what was the point of that? Mm-hmm. Like, you could have cut that out. It really wouldn't have made a difference in the movie. Mm-hmm. But whatever.
I feel like they were trying to keep the original spirit of that film, of the original film series.
Yeah.
Not like New World Pictures is highbrow entertainment, but
what are you talking? They're masters of their craft.
the company made by Roger Corman.
Roger Corman is a god among men.
He is kind of, yeah.
Yeah, that man is a national treasure of cinema. Mm-hmm. But okay, so after that, they go and meet those 3 guys with the hats.
Yeah. This is the finale of the film, by the way, which has the best music cue of the entire film.
Okay, let's take a step back. The music in this film is not. It's just totally new, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Listen, samurai films and like kind of synth, kind of. In my mind, it doesn't work together. Like those are kind of two like John Carpenter kind of music, and Sam's like, eh. But let me tell you, it works so well in this movie. I can't even. It's so good. It's cheesy, but it's so badass.
Oh yeah.
Like I want that to be the theme of my life. Just walking through campus, like, dude, like the music's playing, like, oh, it's so good. Where's the vinyl?
Yeah, it's like we were like talking. It's like, where's the vinyl for Shogun Assassin?
Where's the CD?
Waxworks,
Come on.
Waxwork Records. Come on,
Yeah.
Death Waltz.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
of course, the whole finale is basically them in a desert
Mm.
fighting these guys who have the.
They happen upon they're ambushed by like these like multitude of assassins.
That was badass.
That was awesome.
They stabbed the ground, and,
dispatch
like,
them,
blood
yeah.
come out. Like what? Wait, why are the blood?
They just take them all out just to establish like how good these guys are.
Yeah.
And then when they face off against
Lone
Wolf, who's like off in like
the distance.
on the distance hilltop, sandy hilltop.
Yeah.
And there's like they do battle with him, and it's like he splits one of their heads open.
Oh my god.
It's like it's just like
not that sound.
not that sound effect, but it's just like
Imagine if it made that.
no, but like
That was
it
fun.
just like opens up like in the thing,
Yeah, and just
like blood spurts out. Oh, it's so cool. And how is he like? Oh yeah, he just stabs the other guy.
Yeah.
The guy with the weird emo haircut. He just stabs him,
like
and then like he slices the throat of the guy with the claw hand.
the
claw tool.
Not Hugh Jackman. Don't kill Hugh Jackman.
And
No.
he's just like, it's like a classic anime scene where it's just like,
Yeah.
I've wanted my whole life to do that to somebody, and now it's happened to me. The irony is so cruel, and
He's
it's just like he dies.
It's like this is bullshit.
This is bullshit. The
And then
fact this happened to me is ridiculous.
and then it just kind of
It
ends.
just kind of ends. Yeah.
Yeah. Listen.
And that was all America had to see if Lone Wolf had come until the Criterion Collection released it on Blu-ray in the 2000s.
Okay, two things. Number one, again, that's a problem I have with the movie. They show how badass these guys are. They know these guys are in the sand.
Mm-hmm.
They kill them immediately, and then Lone Wolf just kind of comes in and just kills them. Again, it's bad. Like,
Yeah.
I cannot stress this enough. This movie's badass, but it's one of those, just as a story, it feels a little kind of
just
hollow.
Hollow, yeah.
A little bit.
A little barren. Yeah.
Again, it's still badass.
Yeah.
So that's a problem I have. What was I gonna say?
I'm not sure. Something to elaborate on that?
God damn it! I forgot what I was
That's
gonna
okay.
say.
I'll carry the. Don't worry. I'll.
Yeah.
Don't worry. I'll pick up. I'll catch the ball on this.
Thank
All
you.
right. Basically, it's just I feel like in like respectful rebuttal. I feel like not really a rebuttal, but like in my own personal taste towards this movie, it's more or less the fact that these are not really like your average characters.
Yeah.
They're more ideas,
Yeah.
and they're not really. They're kind of symbols of like. Like marked people
Yeah.
who have to pretty much their only goal in life is survival.
Yeah.
Pretty much the only reason they're killing people is so they can make enough money to live, and they're also being constantly scoured. They're constantly being attacked. They can't have. There's no peace for these people.
Yeah.
This young kid who was given a choice that really he didn't really understand to begin with.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Where it's like, listen,
he has to choose between the sword and the ball. If he chooses the sword, he joins his father. Chooses the ball, he gets killed by his father and joins his mother. It sounds fucked up. He chooses the
because
sword.
it is.
Yeah. So basically, they both walk the path to hell together as father and son. Aw.
Yeah, it is sweet in a very fucked up kind of way.
In a very fucked up kind of way.
But
yeah.
Yeah. What I will say, God, I had a really nice thing to say, but so final thoughts overall.
Mm-hmm.
I've said this so many times. It is just wonderfully badass. It's
Mm-hmm.
just. Oh, I remember what I was going to say.
Okay.
I was surprised this was in the Criterion Collection.
Really?
Like,
it's a supplemental. It's not like it's a supplemental movie.
Oh, really?
On the box, it's like the third disc. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like the Criterion. You think Citizen Kane, but then you realize, oh yeah, Pink Flamingos is in it too.
Yeah.
So the Criterion's just kind of whatever.
Yeah.
And Wall-E.
Yay.
But and Pan's Labyrinth too.
Yep.
Yeah. So that was cool just to see it, in high def and Criterion. They have wonderful blood in high def. Like,
Oh, it's so great.
it's like a mixture of
it's
like strawberry
paint.
jam
It's
and
like,
paint. It's so good.
It's beautiful.
It's wonderful.
I love this movie.
I liked it a lot.
This is the first time I've seen it like without like kind of not as background noise, but like fully watching it.
Fully paying attention.
fully paying attention. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it was
Yeah.
a great samurai time.
Oh, I love it.
It was a great samurai romp.
This is a good first cherry breaking kind of movie.
Yeah,
Samurai.
that's what I was saying to Ben. It's a great gateway drug to the world of samurai cinema.
Yeah,
because it's just so accessible. It's so it's just so fun.
yeah. It's cheesy.
It's cheesy. It's fun, and
cool.
it's bloody,
Badass.
and it's not like 3 hours long like Seven Samurai, which is a great movie. I've heard it's a great movie. I've not seen it yet, but it's a much harder movie to get into. It's a much harder sell than Shogun Assassin, in my opinion, because of its length and.
Wait. Hold on. It's 8 hours. You said
it's 3 hours.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's not. It's like 3.5 hours.
Okay.
It's like but some people just don't want to do that.
Yeah. It's also also with the black and white.
Disgusting. Disgusting. Black and white. No, but it's a lot. Shogun Assassin with its hour and 26-minute runtime is a lot.
It felt very fast. It felt pretty brisk.
It's a very brisk movie to watch.
Yeah.
And it's a good way, if it interests you, watch the rest of the series,
Yeah.
Watch the Toichi.
Yeah.
Watch some Kurosawa,
Kurosawa.
It's a whole subgenre that it's for many people, it's untapped to them,
Also, question. Okay. In this film, one last thing before we say the ratings. There's a bunch of lady warriors. Is it weird I found them hot?
No.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure I wasn't...
What would you rate this movie, Ben?
Oh my god. I would give it a 3.5 out of 5.
Nice. I give it 4 out of 5.
Both I feel are fair.
Yeah.
It's a damn good romp.
Yeah.
I would recommend it. Overall, it's called Shogun Assassin, and you get what it says on the tin. Like it is what it's. What else do you want from it? I mean, it's a guy killing assassins with a sword.
Yeah.
What else do you want?
Ultimately, it's a story about family.
It's about family.
It's about family.
And that's what's so powerful about it.
Shout
Shout out to Red Letter Media. Bam.
This has been another episode of Movie Goblins. Hell yeah.
I
would say we're going to try and make this a bi-monthly thing.
Yeah, I would say
bi-monthly.
But then again, this was not... Yeah, I'd say bi-monthly. Maybe more if you have time. Again, we're college kids, so this is kind of like...
we're going off the cusp of are you busy this weekend? No.
If we feel like doing it. This is not...
It really depends. It's not really a set... History of Power Rangers has no set schedule.
Linkara.
Linkara, yeah.
Hi, Linkara. Don't kill us,
Don't kill us, please. But no, this was a fun time, Ben. I'm really... it's a privilege to talk about movies with you, man. Yeah.
Stop. Stop it.
Our social media... if you want to find our social... I'm sure... you can find our social media on
Instagram.
We're on Instagram, Noel Dick for me, and NOAHOLENDICK. And for you, Ben?
I am Ben.
_ Leasum.
LEASUM.
Also, I'm sure we'll link this in Spotify as well. And YouTube as well.
We're also on Spoofy and also Spotify and also Wait. I messed the joke up. Never mind. Don't worry about that.
YouTube's and the Spotify's.
The Spotify's. We're on YouTube and Spotify. We're going to quick shout out. I'm going to shout out Michael, who is here watching.
Yep,
Labyrinth.
Michael Buckner.
Who he drew our logo.
Drew our logo. Yep.
Hire him for your needs of art. Theme song was done by my friend Shua Lee. Shout out to him. Yay, Satan. Hail Satan.
Hail Satan.
Yeah.
It's been Movie Goblins.
Movie Goblins.
See you.
Bye-bye.